Hi, everyone. Dr. Frankie Bashan here. And I am going to cover the topic of how to make friends as an adult today. I know that as we get older, it just gets harder and harder. And we need each other, we need community. And we need to be thinking about how to make more connections with people, like minded people, so we don't feel so lonely in a really tough time. And I hear from my clients how much they're struggling with loneliness and depression and anxiety. And the only way to combat that is actually to create new relationships, meet new people, new connections, have new experiences. So that takes some effort on our part in being strategic and smart about how we're going about doing that. And today I'm going to cover that topic. But before I jump into that, I want to encourage folks who are new to my channel to subscribe, click that bell below, and you'll get notified when I have a new video that's released. I record every week. I do my best to show up here, even if I'm sick. For those of you who've been following me for a while, you know I'm committed. I'm dedicated to you all. I love to be here with you, for you. And I'm so grateful to have you here with me as well. So definitely subscribe. I don't disappoint. You'll be happy to be here. If you're somebody who wants to grow, expand, learn, you recognize that you're forever evolving and changing, and you see the value in that, and you want to have deeper connections with people, you're in the right place, because that is my life's work. I certainly struggle in ways because of my childhood and in my ability to connect with people. And I just want to continue to practice, learn tools and skills, and be better at it. And I've been a clinical psychologist now for over 2 decades. I love my career. It is so, so, so just fulfilling to be able to help others, but also the amount of growth that I've had myself, both by being a client and also by being a practitioner. I'm also a board certified sex therapist, so I cover a lot of topics here that are uncomfortable and hard to talk about. People are curious about it. People want more information. They don't know where to go to find it, and I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to read the science on it. I'm going to share it with you, and we're going to learn how to move through life more productively and safely with so much love and care and kindness, so that we're creating a big ripple, so that all of us can just, like, I know it sounds like so kumbaya, but the truth is that we need that more than ever to thrive. So if this sounds like you and you're somebody who wants to grow, you are in the right place. So I hope you subscribe. And for those of you that are with me, so thankful to you. With me, been there for me. I feel your energy. I feel your love, and I love you all right back. So how to make friends as an adult. Let's just jump in. Friendship can only become more important as we move through life. Life's hard. As relationships, jobs, and life circumstances change, friendships provide the support and the community we need to get through big challenges. And we all know life's got plenty of challenges. So that's why it's so frustrating that it often seems harder to make friends as an adult. How to make friends as an adult is already a top search topic year over year. And as our lives become more digital and atomized, and more of us are working remotely, I certainly work remote full time, it can feel impossible to form new relationships if you're beyond college age. That doesn't need to be the case. You can find fulfilling new friendships in adulthood if you know how to look for them. And today I'm going to share how and what I recommend in doing so, because I myself have found it challenging. And I know many of my clients find it challenging too. So we figured it out together, and I've got some ideas. Hopefully you'll find them helpful. Get involved in a real way. In earlier eras of your life, you may have had made friends seemingly effortlessly through classes or living situations, or both. If you went to college or you lived on campus, you know what I'm talking about. It might feel like the change in your life circumstances means that meeting friends as an adult organically is now impossible. Maybe you work remotely or you don't share values with your coworkers. It can feel like the social proximity that once brought a real sense of community to your doorstep is gone forever. The good news is that friendships you made weren't a product solely of proximity or even shared interests. And that means you can make similar ones again, even without those things. Much of the time, proximity alone isn't enough to build a real bond with someone. Even having a shared interest often isn't. which is why you and the other person at your job who loves women's softball have never made it past small talk. What forms the strongest bonds is usually shared investment in something that matters and working together on what you care about. Your college friends were nearby and available, but you also had shared struggles. Homework, group projects, navigating new social situations, adulting, figuring out how to adult together, being newbies at that. You may have noticed getting close very quickly with coworkers at very challenging jobs or jobs where you're united against a bad boss or difficult workplace. You're bonded by your efforts to navigate the experience and have each other's backs. You don't need to join like a toxic workplace to make good friends. You just need to find some place where you can work concretely on shared goals with people. Maybe that means unionizing your workplace, getting involved in a community gardening effort, a mural painting project in your neighborhood, playing on a kickball team, or joining a Discord that coordinates mutual aid. Like you, many of you know, I'm very involved in Olympic lifting and CrossFit. That's a community that has allowed me to really bond with people, to feel challenged by them, to feel encouraged by them. And we're having to like go through such intensity in terms of overcoming like our minds in wanting to push through really difficult situations. We're super bonded. And it doesn't even matter where I am in the world. I walk into an Olympic lifting gym, right away I feel like they're family. Something like that. Think about what aligns with your values and where you can take up a concrete effort towards something you care about with other people. Show up as your authentic self. We often feel like our best chance for human connection is to be the best, most flawless version of ourselves, someone who has no baggage or problems and no wants and no needs of their own. This can be a way to avoid friction, difficult or vulnerable conversations or conflict, but it's not a way to develop real intimacy with someone, whether that's romantic or platonic. What develops real intimacy is vulnerability and being authentic. So basically, that means that you've got to take some risks. There's a reason why I recommend letting yourself be messy early in a romantic relationship, which I spoke about several months ago. A relationship that's based only on the most polished, curated version of yourself isn't truly an authentic one. When it comes to a friendship, the bonds we build based on the version of ourselves we think works best for others end up being shallow and superficial. If you find yourself frustrated by the quality of friendships in your life, or you feel like you never progress past acquaintanceship to real friendship, it may be in part because you're trying too hard to make yourself palatable. We may have a generally positive regard for effortlessly pleasant people, but we don't tend to feel very connected to them or deeply interested in them. If you're having trouble finding a real connection with new friends, try the uncomfortable work of showing up as your full self. Imagine that. Answering honestly when someone asks how you're doing, asking when you could use help or support with something, and sharing space with people even when you feel rough around the edges. Think about how many times do people say like, "How are you? How's it going?" And you're not having a good day and you just say, "Things are good. It's great. How are you?" You lob it right back to them. And it's like, why not try the next time when you're not feeling that great? Say, "You know what? Not having a great day. Like today I have allergies. I've been dealing with allergies for weeks. I could feel better, but making the best of it, trying to, get through the day. Take those baby steps to be vulnerable and transparent. Get curious about others. There's an old saying, to be interesting, be interested. One of the key elements to any intimate relationship, including romantic ones, is genuine, sustained curiosity. When we care about people, we have a lot of genuine interest in them and their experiences. And conversely, when you demonstrate interest in someone and their experiences, they feel really cared for. They feel seen. Practice asking new people open ended questions about the parts of their lives they're excited and enthusiastic about. What do they like most about where they live? How did they meet their best friend? What books would they recommend from their favorite genre? Once you've gotten to know people a little bit better, you can demonstrate more curiosity about their background and their inner lives. How are they feeling about the changes in their industry? How are family holidays for them? How has their new effort at casual dating been? Listen actively to your friends' responses and let them guide more open ended questions rather than turning the conversations to yourself. Be more curious. If you're somebody who's really a good talker and you ask lots of questions, you want to sit back a little bit and listen more. Don't just jump, right? Like, it can feel like an interview, then they're not able to ask you questions about yourself. You want it to be like a volley, and you want to be able to sit back if you're somebody who talks a lot, and vice versa. If you're somebody who doesn't and you're more introverted, then you want to actually push yourself to ask questions, be curious, stimulate the conversation more, step out of your comfort zone. Participate materially in your friends' lives and let them participate in yours. Maybe you've made plenty of friends over the years, but find yourself frustrated by what feels like a superficial connection. It can be lonely to have friends who feel like we could see a movie with, but not rely on or share something vulnerable with. Authenticity is key for feeling real emotional intimacy in your connections. But the way to move past this kind of relational superficiality and gain friendships you can rely on through thick and thin is to lean into the vulnerability of each other's material needs. Next time one of your friends is sharing a struggle or difficulty, think about whether there's anything more you can offer than a listening ear. If your friend is struggling with mental health or managing life during a swamped work week, offer to come help them do chores or clean up their place. Pitch a laundry folding session while watching Netflix. If they're ill or they're injured, offer to organize a meal train for them. While this can feel effortful or like an overstep, sharing the vulnerability of acknowledging how difficult it is to fold your laundry when you're struggling will bring you closer, and demonstrating that you can be relied upon during difficult times will make your friendship stronger. What I also notice is that people will say, "Let me know if you need anything." People have a hard time asking for help. So if you offer and you just say, "Hey, I know you got a lot going on. I'd be happy to come over and clean your house up or help you do some laundry or take your kid on a walk," or whatever it is, something that would be helpful, offer it. And don't just say, "I'm happy, I'm happy to help. Let me know what you need." It's important that you also think about how you can let others like show up for you materially. A friendship where you only give and don't receive support isn't an authentic one, and there's a limit to its closeness. The next time a friend says, "I'm sorry, that sounds hard. Is there anything I can do?" Make an effort to think about the answer and respond honestly. And actually try saying yes and suggesting what it is that they can do to help support you. Work on your skills around conflict and repair. This is a hard one for people, so listen up. Friendships aren't naturally easier or simpler than romantic relationships, especially if we do the work to develop a deep, authentic friendship with real emotional stakes. Keeping strong friendships is just as important a skill as making them in the first place. Friendships where you gloss over or ignore conflicts or frustrations aren't very strong ones. Friendships that descend into passive aggressive or talking behind each other's backs instead of resolving conflicts openly can fester and stagnate. Practice your skill sets around direct communication and telling someone to their face in a kind but clear conversation when something bothers you or your feelings got hurt. Doing so can feel scary, but it will ultimately make your real relationships of both the romantic and platonic variety much, much closer and stronger. Hope this helps everybody. As long as you take away one nugget of information from what I've shared today, I've been successful. And just thanks so much for showing up, taking in as much as you can, and figuring out how to apply it to your life. And share, share, share. Let me know what worked, what didn't work. And of course, I will be here for you next week. And I hope that you all can show up and be here with me as well. Kisses, hugs, and I'll see you then.